Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to you wherever you are in the world. My name is Eric Arnhem. I am the editor of the Warranty Week newsletter. I'm based in New York, where it is just past 1:30 here on a Friday, Memorial Day weekend. So we have Monday is a holiday here. This month's webinar is about heavy equipment, farm equipment, construction equipment, mining equipment, all of the big off-road vehicles that we've come to know and love. So thank you for attending, and we'll be going for about a half an hour. Let's go to the first slide I have for you. This is 18 years of claims data from most of the top heavy equipment, farm equipment, construction equipment companies. It's in a quarterly format, so what you'll have to do is add four columns together to get the annual totals. But I can do that for you. Last year, claims slipped a little bit from $5 billion in 2019 to $4.9 billion in 2020. And you can see that the dip was worst in the second quarter of 2020, when much of the US and Europe were in lockdowns. That's interesting because, you know, it wasn't that the farms were not, being used, or the equipment was not being used, but it was just an inability of the customers and the repair people to get together to process a claim, to fix a product, etc. Let's go to the next slide. This is for warranty accruals. That's the money that you set aside at the time that a product is sold to finance those claims that you'll be paying later on. You see here again, the second quarter of 2020 was even further, way down. I mean, really, it's a valley in this chart. But so was the year. It was down significantly. It was $4.5 billion last year versus $5.1 billion in 2019. So it's minus 2% for claims, but it's minus 12% for accruals. Now I guess I want to take you through a sort of a tour of some of the top companies that are in this chart. Let's go to the first one here. This is for Caterpillar. Obviously one of the world's largest construction equipment, mining equipment, agricultural equipment companies, anywhere in the world. A $42 billion company that really dominates these industries. And you can see that over the past 18 years, it has kept its warranty expenses roughly around 2%, except for that spike. Everybody can see that spike in 2009. That was the Great Recession, and that's what happened. But it was more a case of revenue dropping through the floor than it was that their expenses actually rose. And that's important to remember, because the formula for both the accrual rate and the claims rate is to take the amount and divide it by revenue. So when you're saying it's 2% of revenue and then revenue plummets, it goes to 5, 4, some incredible high number. But I just want to give you a tip that when you look at these charts, you can almost immediately tell when you're looking at a sick patient. It's almost like one of those X-rays or EKGs that you get at the doctor. If you know what to look for, you can see it right away. You don't need any explanation. And you see that green needle and that big red bump in 2009, that's a sign of a big problem. What you really want here is you want flat lines. So let's go to the next one. John Deere, also big in both construction and farm equipment. What I want to point out to you on this chart is well, two things I want to point out to you. One is the seasonal pattern. It goes up, it goes down, it follows the seasons. Winter, spring, summer, fall. You would think that a company that's really dominated by agricultural equipment sales would follow the growing season, and that's indeed what happens to this company. The second thing I want to point out to you is, once again, there's a spike. 2017 is their spike. I have no idea what happened. They never said what happened. They're not obligated to say what happened, but, you know, it's plain as day. You can look at this chart and say, oh, you guys had a problem in 2017, didn't you? In fact, it was the first quarter of 2017. What happened? You know, I wish investors would start asking these questions of the companies. Let's go to the next one. This is a pure play in agricultural equipment. Fairly well-run company, as you can see here. This is what I mean. When you look at this chart, you say, that's pretty stable. It's almost flat. Well, it's not quite flat, but it's close to it. It's about as close to it as you'll see in these industries. But the thing I wanted to point out to you here is that although this company definitely has its warranty expenses under control, warranty accruals, at least, the green line, it started climbing in 2019, and it's still climbing. You know, first it was down around 2%, went up to 3%, now it's 3.5%. So, you know, definitely something's going on there. Let's go to the next one. Toro. It's primarily a lawnmower company. You know, now I don't know if you can consider that to be farm equipment, but it's certainly heavy equipment, and it's used outdoors to control plant growth. So I don't know. You know, it's I don't know if lawn mowing is farming, but it's about as close to it as many people in suburbia will ever get. But Toro also sells the big machines that are used on you know, big municipal golf courses and you know, what have you, the big ones that look like airplanes. So that it definitely is heavy equipment. So what you see here, once again, in fact, this is probably the best example I can find of that seasonal pattern I was talking about, where, you know, winter, spring, summer, fall, claims rise, claims fall. But what I wanted to point out to you here is, unlike with John Deere, where both of them oscillated, is that the accruals are fairly stable here. The green line is fairly flat, while it's the red line that goes up and down every year. So that's a sign that this company is even better run, because they're able to manage the seasonality better with their accruals. And claims, they have no effect. I mean, they have no power over that. You know, it's the lawn doesn't grow in the winter, so you know, it's a great opportunity to fix the equipment, but it's not being used. Let's go to the next one. A.O. Smith. They make water heaters and boilers. But they also make things like glass-lined tanks that are used by beer breweries, and they make the harvest store grain silos that are used on farms. And you look at this chart, this is what I mean. You look at this chart and you say, oh, you guys had a problem in 2009, 2010, even into 2011. It's plain as day, and you can see, this is the important part. They recovered from it, and in recent years they've really changed the whole complexion of what I would call their baseline warranty expenses. You know, back then it was up around 4% when they were having trouble. Now it's under 2%. So this is a company that's really turned it around in recent years. Next we go to Twin Disc. Twin Disc is another one of those hybrid companies that's into a bit of everything. They make transmissions for everything from trucks and boats to farm and construction equipment. They make clutches for tractors on the farm. They make gearboxes, torque converters, you name it. But as I said, you look at these charts and you say, oh, you guys had a problem in 2019. Um, in fact, what you see here is first you see the green line spike, and then you see the red line rise. That's because when you notice a problem, you set the money aside to pay for the solution, and then the red line is the actual payments for the solution. So first you allocate the money as an accrual, then you spend the money as a claim. So the green line spikes and then the red line spikes. That's a classic example of, I guess, what we'd call a manufacturing excursion. Um, Again, Twin Disc had very little to say about this. You don't know what the problem is, but you can see plain as day, there's a problem. Let's go to the next one. Lindsay Corporation. They're deep into crop irrigation systems, but they also work on traffic management, roadway safety systems, and what you see here from this chart is just how unmanageable their warranty expenses have become. They're rising, they're falling, they're going up, they're going down. It's a bit, as I said, you can tell by the flatness or the hilliness of the terrain, how well a company is doing. Let's go to the next one here. Oh, I should have mentioned this at the outset, but at the bottom of the screen we have a box for questions, question and answer. If you have any questions of me or the Chetan from Tavant, please put them into the Q&A box, and we'll try and get to them. There's also a chat box, but please try and use the Q&A box. We're looking at Valmont Industries. It's another diversified company that also works on irrigation systems. They also work on all sorts of lighting and communications towers. Very diversified company. They report their warranty expenses only once a year, though, which is why this chart looks like a bunch of stairs. That's not the usual way that it goes, but that's the best that we can do. They're supposed to release their warranty expenses every quarter, but some only do it once a year. So what I'm doing here is chopping it into 4 equal pieces. But the bottom line here is that warranty expenses are under control at this company. And one more we have to do. Let's go to the Alamo Group. It's another company that makes lawnmowers, but they also make all sorts of wood chippers and mulchers, snow removal equipment, tractors, loaders, you name it. And now they're also an annual reporter, except for a few years that they're in the middle, 2013, 2014, where they did report quarterly. But for the most part, the early years and the later years, they've been reporting annually. So recent years has been fairly flat, even declining. I mean, a declining slope is probably the best of all possible worlds, in that your warranty expenses are gradually declining over time. But I have no idea what changed at this company from 2006 to 2007, but something certainly did. You can see that so plainly, where they went from very low warranty expenses to, predictable, manageable, 1%, 1.5%, and then it's, slowly declined back under 1%. So, that's what I mean. After a while, after looking at these charts year after year after year, you can immediately see when a company is really improving its situation and when it's having some sort of trouble. And you can pinpoint the exact time of the trouble, how long it lasted, how bad it was, how much it cost the company, and how unusual it was compared to their baseline. So even if the company doesn't announce a problem, you can see it. And this is all based on public data, readily available from the quarterly financial statements and annual reports of these companies. So, Chetan, I'm sorry I've taken up a lot of the half hour, but I've given you at least 12, 13 minutes to go through your slide deck. Let me introduce to everybody Chetan Shah from Tavant. Take it away, Chetan.
Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, everyone. Uh, my name is Chetan Shah. I'm a senior program manager at Thwant. And what I'm going to talk to you about is a little bit different flavor to what Eric just covered. A lot of useful data that was shared, and I would like to kind of pivot from there to show start with the challenges and opportunities faced by the equipment industry, and then pivot it to what the one does in this space. So this slide at a high level talks about some of the key challenges and opportunities that face the industry. We already covered like the level of expense that goes into warranty. In depending on the company, it can be as low as 1% of the revenue, or it could be 3, 4, 5%. But at the end of the day, it's a hit to the bottom line, and that is compounded by a couple of factors like supply recovery rates, where the manufacturing companies try to recover the warranty expense from their suppliers, component suppliers, and that tends to be lagging in a very low percentage range, anywhere from 10 to 20%, depending on the company and what their agreements are with their suppliers. And on the other factor is that the almost 20% of the warranty spend is uh, because of the fraudulent claims, where the claims filed by the service providers or the dealers are not valid claims, or maybe they are overcharging on certain things, or they're trying to claim things that is outside the policy of the warranty policy that is offered by the company. It's very difficult to track that and kind of control it. uh, and that is other than the cost aspect, another challenge that these companies faced, and that's pretty common not only in equipment industry but many other industries, is that lack of 360 view of the customer, uh, probably due to disparate systems and lack of data access for the business stakeholders. Some examples are like, marketing may not know about the issues faced by the customers with the products that are already in the field. Or similarly, when a service or warranty team is addressing a particular product issue that the customer is owning, they may not have visibility into other products that the customer is owning, which may help them kind of make some decisions around what is the level of service to be provided. If you have a customer who owns 10 different tractors, then maybe you want to be a lot more generous about it compared to, let's say, somebody who just bought one unit. um, on the opportunity front, I think the biggest area of excitement in the industry is proliferation of smart and connected products through the adoption of telematics technologies. And a big part of my presentation today is going to talk about that. But before we go into that, let's go to the next slide, and let's talk about what does Tavan do in the aftermarket space for equipment manufacturers. So this what we try to show is Tavant has a wide range of solutions to cover end-to-end business processes once the initial sale of the equipment happens in the aftermarket space. Tavant has a very strong presence in the warranty space through its warranty management solution that can be implemented in a modular fashion, where you don't have to go with the entire suite of modules, but you can pick and choose what modules you want to implement. but in essence, it can help customers increase claim auto processing rates up to 85% through the use of dynamic business rules. Our solution can enforce compliance by dealers in providing all mandatory information on the warranty claims and also ensure timely part returns. We have helped our clients in increasing the supply recovery rate by as much as 50%. Um, Almost all equipment companies, be it agricultural or construction or mining or any other application, they operate through dealer and distributor networks, as well as they have a pretty broad range of supplier base. So it's very important that the solutions work well with the community partners. And the one solution have the strength in their ability to seamlessly integrate with dealer business systems or supplier portals. And this gives the channel partners better access to the data to improve their performance as well as their satisfaction. It helps suppliers, supplier recovery, improvement, as I mentioned, and also helps dealers to get their reimbursement executed faster. Uh, we also have solutions to improve field service operations through capabilities of service scheduling, work order management, technician monitoring, and knowledge management. Finally, our biggest focus area for past some time has been in analytics and artificial intelligence. I will talk more about it in the next slide. So can we go to the next slide, please? We are going to talk about some of the use cases that we have implemented for our customers. This one talks about four different use cases. The first one and foremost, which is the biggest area, focus area for most of the manufacturers in past 4 or 5 years, it has been in the Internet of Things or telematics technology and analytics capabilities based off those technologies, and focuses mainly on the aftermarket service space. So equipment fitted with telematic capabilities allow business to gain access to real-time information and alerts that help minimize the downtime of the machines or the equipments. Business can have a complete view of the machine health through which they can get a valuable insight. Uh, the early detection is the biggest win for this technology, that helps identifying the upcoming maintenance and failures. And finally, it also helps dealers and OEMs effectively manage rental fleets, which is an important part of the business for various dealers as well as OEMs in the equipment industry, by tracking the machine usage as well as the access to the machine by the person who's renting the equipment. Um, the next use case, and pretty important one and very classic use of the analytics platform, is machine failure prediction. So we have, through the use of machine learning models, we are able to detect anomalies and predict equipment failure. This is possible through the use of IoT streaming data, which gives insight into key operational parameters such as engine temperature, pressure, load, and etc. Along with the usage data like the altitude and speed and torque and etc. And in addition to that, use of previous failure and maintenance information, we are able to predict the failure in proactively before the failure occurs. This in turn helps with proactively scheduling services and initiate the parts ordering if there is a part to be replaced. So this, as you can see, can avoid a lot of failures and have a more routine maintenance take place, and in a proactive manner. Uh, the next use case, which we call as machine failure cluster, is a pretty interesting concept we have implemented. It is not, call it simply, it's more of a process of managing the quality issues. So once the equipment is in the field, there are multiple sources of data, such as warranty claims, cases, technician reports, and even telematics events that can be brought on the one analytics platform and tied connected together to identify quality issues at a very early stage. Such proactive monitoring helps reduce any future warranty cost, quicker identification of quality issues and their root causes, and also help with the overall recall campaign management activity. The solution also helps understand the overall impact to the product population that's in the field, what is the customer impact, and also the failure rate. These kind of metrics can help prioritize the quality issues for the engineering and the quality team so that they can focus on bigger issues first and then come to the smaller issues. And the end result, what you get is a better quality, lower cost, more uptime for the customer, and ultimately, you get a happier customer, which is what every company wants. And finally, the next final use case that I'd like to talk about is warranty cluster, which is a concept where we group similar claims, warranty claims, through pattern analysis into individual clusters. And next, we determine average labor hours associated for that cluster. And this helps while detecting situations where dealer might be claiming more than the norm, and it helps the warranty processor to adjudicate the claims much more quickly because there is a lot of additional information that is available on processor's fingertips while he's judging the claim and to make the decision quicker. And also you can in fact extend it to improve your auto adjudication rates. So these are just few of the areas that where we have made an impact in improving the business efficiency and cost reduction, customer satisfaction. But there are many other areas where we can help using our analytics platform. Some of these examples are improving the warranty reserve accuracy, improving the parts demand forecasting through statistical modeling, and also help with extended warranty programs through more optimized pricing of the main extended warranty contracts. So there are a lot of such benefits from Tawant platform. So that was all I wanted to cover today. And thanks for listening. And I'll be happy to take any questions.
All right. Um, Thank you very much, Chaitan. Thanks for that information. Let me ask you a question. Do you think that Tavant's software could help any of those companies where we saw those giant spikes in their warranty expenses, and how could they help?
Definitely. I think the power of analytics platform allows you to drill down on the data. So if you had a spike with your accrual rate or warranty span, you can do slicing and dicing of the data to identify where is the problem in terms of which product lines are having the issue, or maybe there is a spike in warranty costs in specific region of the country or market, or a certain type of components are failing more often than the others, and that helps you narrow down where the problem is lying. And then through some of the other examples I gave in terms of proactive monitoring of the issues will definitely uh, help them avoid the issue. But if the analytics platform gives you the slicing and dicing capabilities that allows you to pinpoint where the problem is, and that can help take necessary remediation action.
Excellent. Okay. Um, I do not see any questions from our viewers. If there are any open questions that you have, and also if you're watching the recording later on, this screen, it has contact information for both me and for Chaitan, so please take advantage of that and send us your questions by email or give us a phone call or come to our websites. And we can follow up with you for something more in-depth. Also, if you need copies of these slides, let us know and we'll get them to you. Our next outing of this monthly webinar series will take place at the same time on Friday, June 25th. That's the last Friday of the month, and we'll see you then, as well as through the summer and into the fall. We're hoping that this will become a regular viewing event for all of you. Thank you all for your attention. Thanks for your time. Thanks for attending today's webinar, and we'll see you in June.
Thank you
Bye
very
bye.
much. Bye bye.